Hello, my name is Brant Hunt. Today is the 21st day of February 2021. And what I wanted to talk to you is a couple of recent events that have happened to me the last 2 or 3 days that have gotten me. I know what's going on, but I just want to see what other people, if they're experiencing the same thing, because I have experienced it. Uh, One was to do with the post office, and another one has to do with actually both of them deal with the post office. One deals with the bank, and another one deals with a bill I paid. And so what took place was simply is I usually get a bill, and usually within a day or two, maybe 3 days, I send a check out. I don't do electronic banking online. I have no desire to do that, and I won't do it. So if that's just the way I feel. I hear too many stories about people having issues with banking online, with dealing with this. In other words, if people who've had all kinds of problems, and either people have lost their money, or someone's stolen their account, or taken their account number, whatever, or their credit card number, whatever you want to call it, and have been gone through a lot of stress and agony because of this. So I can see the pressure being put upon those out there, because this is part of the agenda, the whole idea to move away from cash to some type of credit deal, and eventually based upon your how you act in society, and how what we would call the old kindergarten deal, not kindergarten, but report card deal when we was younger, that it was called citizenship. And you usually got an X or a check as if you were a good citizen. Another good word it meant simply is it wasn't to do with citizen. It had a lot to do with simply as you get along with people, and it wasn't a problem. In other words, you weren't an individualist. You see, that was part of the whole idea, was to break your individualistic perspective on life and your thinking at a very early age, and then to force you to be groupthink. So I got something. First of all, I got something from the email that told me that they received my payment, and from a particular credit card company. And I was looking at it, and I'm like, wait a minute, that's the 16th, or it was the 17th. And I'm like, so I went back to my filing cabinet and looked it up and found that I mailed that out on the 30th of last month. So why does it take over 2 weeks to go to Philadelphia, Pennsylvania from South Carolina? That should be no more than 3 or 4 days delivery, especially I think it's Philadelphia is where it goes at. So I'm thinking, okay, you should get it within 3 or 4 days. So that's kind of was a red flag to me, because I think I got that information on Thursday or Friday. And I'm like, okay, all right, this is not during Christmas now, folks. This is after Christmas bill. So is this their part of the agenda here, is to make things more complicated, which is what they wanted to do, is cause things to break down. And that's what they want, to cause more stress upon people and fear. So I got something in the mail. I guess this was from my bank here locally, and it was to do with simply was that, and I'll read what they say. Dear customer, over the past several months, many of our customers have experienced delays in receipt of paper statements. The primary reason for such delays has been the disruption in USPS first-class mail delivery due to higher than average mail volumes and USPS staffing issues associated with COVID-19. For those impacted by delays in receipts of statement and tax forms, we offer the following solutions. You can request to have your statement or your tax form emailed to you within 1 business day. Please contact us such and such. And then it comes down a little later here in the posted here letter. It says, sign up for electronic statements through online banking. Once you are enrolled in e-statements, you will no longer receive paper statements, and all future statements will be available within the online mobile platform. And then they show what I would call the directions how to get on that. Well, I'm not interested. Okay, I'm not going to do any electronic banking over the internet. There's just too many things go wrong on the internet, period. You wonder why, when you look at the internet these days, and you thought it was such a great thing back in the '90s, late '90s, when this all started, because I was involved in a business, a small business, and we had online service. And I think it was '99 or '98 started. Maybe it was 2000. But anyway, the point simply was that um, there was no one rating your your online stuff at all. There was no issues at all. So all it's gotten simply is now internet is someone can get into your account and they can do all kinds of stuff when what we call hacking, and this is taking place. And so it's amazing how they introduce the internet, but then they come along and says, well, you need to have Norton is a brand or deal with viruses such and such, or hacking. I don't know if they deal with hacking, but it was to do with viruses such and such. And you're thinking to yourself, well, if this thing was so foolproof, why is it this way? You see, the whole idea simply wasn't meant to work fluently, I don't think. I think simply is that I know they have back doors in certain accounts, so they spy on you and all these kind of things. So I'm just curious if others are actually having these problems. And I can see this simply as an excuse to get you to go along with their particular plan. And that plan is to get you into the internet more and more, and it'd be easy. All these kind of words says it's convenient and easy, which is, no, it just becomes more complicated. Have you noticed how your life has become more complicated with internet, computer service? I enjoy it because I do a lot of research on it, but in reality, simply is there's so many issues that irritate me now because of it. Because I can't get reliable service, or it's down, or they charge me more than they did before because of da 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 da. Then I got this. I got a statement. I got a statement from this such and such with my cable people, and what I did simply is I'm not very happy with their service. And you can't go to their office anymore. You can't even go and see a human being anymore. So how are you supposed to get service? Well, you're supposed to call them, and they'll come out such and such and da 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 da. My point simply is I want to talk to a human being. And so their rates go up. They went up $5 a month. And I'm paying $65 per month for internet service. I think that's 50 million bits per second. I can't remember. I have to look it up, but it's supposed to be pretty medium. It's not super fast, but it's not slow neither. And the prices have gone up tremendously in the last probably 2 or 3 years. It used to be around $40. And it's gotten more expensive. And I eventually took my phone service off of it because I got tired of that issue also. But which was a landline, which in some ways I wished I kept it, just to have a landline. But I didn't. I chose to go with a mobile cellular phone service in that regard, which is another headache. But anyway, the point is that when going back to this whole issue, is that why is these things happening? Well, I think a lot of it simply is on purpose. Remember, we used to have this. Do you remember this? Most of you American citizens will remember that many people got so tired of companies and businesses calling them, that is their phone number, their home phone number, and they don't know where, they never gave the number to anyone. In other words, they never gave the phone number to this business. Someone was taking your phone number, probably the phone company, and selling your phone number, such and such. So the government came in and said they would take care of that, and they did, such and such, but that was for landline use. Now, I know simply is I get all kinds of phone calls on my phone, which I don't answer. If I don't know who you are, I'm not going to answer the phone. I don't care. You're wasting my time. You are. And I don't have time to waste in my life. And the other issue simply is that they also email. So the email I get is just junk. 99% of it's junk, and I have to delete it. I have to waste my time to delete all this stuff. You see how they made life worse instead of better. This was supposed to be a streamlined type of deal. Now we were talking about 2021. So we're talking about 20 years later and how the internet works. And in relation to why so many people are hacked in their sites and such, thinking you can do such and things and you're not, you see. So I like to hear feedback if other people are getting this type of reaction out there. This is not a long video. I just basically just want to share information. I don't pay. If I had to order something online, yes, I pay by credit card. Yes. But if I can pay in cash, I pay in cash. If I buy my groceries, I pay in cash. You know why? Well, here in South Carolina, where I live at, there's no tax on food. If it's a food item, there's no tax on it. Okay. But it's not the government's business to know what I buy and eat. Okay. So I never use a credit card to do that. Now, I have done it because I forgotten it. Don't get me wrong. But I realize simply is that's the information they use against me. And it's none of their business. And, I very clearly, when they came here twice at my house, wanting me to mail me so many census deals to fill out. And I refused them. And the guy came in to knock on my door and I says, no. He says, well, I like such and such. And I said, no, I'm not giving you any information, sir. Good day. And I closed the door. And someone else came here and did the same thing. I said, no, I'm not giving you my response. Well, it's the law. I don't care what law it is. You're interrogating me. It's none of your business what I do. I don't ask what your business is. So you stay out of my business, and I'll stay out of your business. You stay out of my business. You see, this is a problem, and most people are gullible, and they actually give their information. I have done it before, and it says, no, I'm not doing it anymore. Well, this will benefit you. No, it won't. I'm not in the government system, folks. I don't want anything to do with it. So why would I want to be in there? So this is the issue. And I think, the realization simply is that I know their plan is they want to eliminate. I see you, Heather. It's good seeing you. No, it's not our law. It goes against everything to do with natural law. So, if it's anything to do against natural law, then it's basically against mankind. If you read Lysander Spooner, it's very clear what he shares that the Constitution was not made for me and you; it was made for them. It's very much towards the oligarchy that ruled at that early part, but I won't get into that. But the whole idea is that they're intrusive, and so I'm not intrusive in them. I don't really care what you do, as long as you leave me alone. And this is why I see this pervasiveness all the time with not only with government, but businesses and this type of thing. They want to know your business and such. And I don't give it to them. It's none of their response. What was something else I remember? I can't remember. Well, I don't vote. That's another thing. I don't vote. In fact, I'm no longer registered to vote. So I don't give them my energy there neither. But the key with cash is this. They want to be able to tax everything. You see, and that's what this is all about. And if I want to buy something from here at what I call go down at Bob's Produce, he's got a little stand here off the road, and I want to pay for it, I pay for it for cash. Because you know what? He doesn't have the modern techniques. He couldn't afford it in the first place to take credit cards. If I want to buy a used car from someone, I pay cash for it. Reason? I don't need to use a credit card. I pay the man such and such for a good product, such and such. So what's the problem here? It seems as though the government claims it's all to protect you, but it has nothing to do about protection. It says everything to know. They want to know what you're doing with your money, you see. And we know that the banks, all of them are ruled or involved in the government already. We know that. When the last failure in the economy in 2008, they took over most of the banks. The government is involved in that. So they want to know what you're doing with that money a lot of times. And also simply is this whole issue with coins and stuff like that. That's all to do with the Federal Reserve System, which has nothing to do with the federal government, period. And I don't want to go there neither. But the point simply is that they want to know where all your money goes to and what you're doing with it. And when you do it online and electronically, they can see those records, period. And I'm trying also look out for what I call the black market, because that is the only thing that protects you. And you should be supporting the black market, because this is what they want to destroy. They don't want you to deal with mom and pop little stores. They don't want to deal with little produce things. They want to eliminate the little man and squeeze you. And you need to understand that. You need to see the big picture, because this is the big picture. Because once they do away with cash, all kinds of things of that nature, then what are you going to do? Then you're forced more and more into what I call a cow chute, and you're being brought along. And eventually they'll say, well, we're going to do away with credit cards. We're going to do this, and we're going to do this, and all this stuff about cryptocurrency and all that. Is that by coincidence? You betcha it's not coincidence, folks. It's planned. That's part of a plan also, to get people to get involved in cryptocurrency, thinking that the money is worth more, and in reality simply it's not. You have to understand the nature of the times and what's going on. Anyway, I've kind of gone too far here. So I appreciate your statement, Heather. No, it's what we also know simply is that even by the advertisements, if you watch with the Highway Patrol here in years back, they would say, well, it's the right thing to do. Then eventually they come along and say, it's the law. In other words, it's the law. In other words, we're going to put this pressure on you. No, your laws are against natural law. That means simply is your laws are actually anti-human. You go against what is right. You choose to use this to make people fearful. And when you do that, you're doing wrong. You're way out of step on this. And the sad part simply is people just go along. And when you go along, you're saying, you know what you're doing? You're giving your consent, that you're saying, it's okay. I'm okay with that. You see? So anyway, I appreciate your time tonight. Again, I didn't mean to go 17 minutes here, but my point simply is that I'm seeing things, and we're seeing also one other quick thing simply is with the whole issue with the power grid. Wait a minute. What the heck is going on here? It's all again to cause issues with small businesses, also to do with ranch farmers. Most are not aware of that it's actually, they don't have any power, so they're dumping milk. And there's dumping milk on concrete floors because they don't have electricity, so they can't operate the milk, can't use it. It'll go spoil. Well, you can use it if you were in raw milk. You see, raw milk is nothing wrong with it as long as it's done in a what I would call it a very clean, sanitary way, and use stainless steel vats. You can solve that problem. But very few states actually offer raw milk. And I'm not going to jump in the bandwagon against milk and this and that. That's not the point. But it's hurting people, and that's what they want to do. They again want to force you into this tight squeeze that you eventually be only one choice, or you won't be able to buy, sell, or trade. So thank you for listening, and I wish you a good night. Take care. Yes, thank you, Heather. Appreciate you commenting. Yes, they are. Yes, of course they're messing with geoengineering big time, and that they want to eliminate meat. Also, they want to genetically modified. Also, they want to go that route, and they're moving that way. So, and they've already got a control of the Cattlemen Association now. That's really basically going to destroy, because that's the last independent group I know of, and they went along with it, and they thought, they took over, basically what I should say. So Derek Brownfield many years ago warned about this. That was probably 12 years ago, if not longer, that was what was headed to. So anyway, thank you for your comments, Heather. You have a good evening. Thank you for listening. Take care.